Hello and welcome to your latest news roundup in the world of Formula 1 here in my team career mode on F1 2021. Today we're looking through the top headlines running over the course of the winter season, with the biggest one being the newly crowned World Drivers' Champion Jenson Button is to retire from Formula 1 for the second time in his career, calling his achievements in his return to Formula 1 nothing short of an absolute miracle, and he is satisfied with what he's achieved in the sport. That obviously leaves a lot of question marks. Of course, last season Aarava and Jenson Button had a joint venture in their team with Aarava Jenson RGN, so now that secondary stake is up for grabs. Rumours are that two manufacturers are looking to join the grid, one of them being Jaguar and the other one being Porsche. Now, our inside sources can confirm it seems that Porsche are in the front running to go in with a joint venture with Aarava to bring Porsche to the F1 grid. What will happen with the rumours of Jaguar wanting to enter Formula 1 as well remains to be seen. We're going to have to see how that story develops. But in terms of Aarava's teammate, that second seat open now at the now triple Constructors World Champions. Well, news that I'm sure will rock the entire paddock, nay, the entire world of Formula 1, is that our sources can confirm that Charles Leclerc is looking to move away from Scuderia Ferrari, jump ship from the team that hasn't quite delivered him a championship winning car, and he fancies his chances with this joint venture between Aarava Archer Racing and Porsche Formula 1. He feels that Porsche is the big puller. Can they find success together in Formula 1 alongside with Aarava Archer Racing's team personnel? That is one of many question marks I'm sure fans have going into this pre-season. And so with that, it's time to kick off Season 5's pre-season.
Yep, it's finally happening. We are teaming up with Charles Leclerc for the first time in a long while on this channel in a career mode series. I think the last time I was maybe ever teammates with Leclerc was maybe way back on F1 2019 when we were doing a mod career mode. But I gotta say, what's up guys, Aarava here, and welcome back to my F1 2021 My Team career mode. This is the beginning of Season 5. This is the pre-season episode where you're going to get all the info and all the lowdown on what to expect from this season. We kick things off with confirming our signing of Leclerc. He's going to be 100 rated. He's got 76 focus. I'm hoping we can help him bump that up and he can see his full potential. It'd be really great to see him fighting at the sharp end, hopefully along with myself. Of course, nothing is guaranteed and a given. We need to see where the pace of our car is going to be compared to everyone, but let me tell you, when I say this is going to be a very juicy season, I mean it, and you can probably already tell by the title. And alongside signing Leclerc, of course, confirming to you with the intro there, we are going to be having a Aarava Porsche Formula 1 team. This is going to be so exciting, bringing such an iconic brand, one that's in real life, you know, been flirting around with the idea of entering the sport. Well, we're doing it in this career mode series. Let's take you through, though, first the calendar you can expect from this season. Another 16 race calendar for Season 5 here in My Team career mode, and we have a few small changes. We've got China, Shanghai returning to the Formula 1 calendar for the first time in a long while in a career mode of mine. And another new addition and return to the calendar is also round number 14, the Australian Grand Prix. We're going back to Melbourne just before we head to Jeddah again, and then Abu Dhabi as the finale once more. Sadly, that does mean that Portimao and Suzuka have had to fall foul and have the chop for this season. It's something I don't like doing because I actually enjoy driving those two circuits, but unfortunately the game has limitations of not having a fully custom number calendar where we can choose the number of rounds we can have. We can only choose from 10, 16, and then the full calendar. Talking about limitations of the game, like was the case with last season, Season 4, for this season, I've had to do a little bit of bodge jobbing in the background. I just want to be transparent with you guys. Last season we did this, and we've done it again, where we've skipped an actual entire season in the actual game save file in order to get some interesting driver transfers. And trust me, even more so maybe than last season, this season, they're really worthwhile. They're really, really juicy. So technically, in-game, you may notice in the menus it says Season 7, but for your guys' sake, for the videos, it will be Season 5. I will only be referring to it as Season 5, but just in case you notice that little tiny detail in the menus. And if you're wondering about the R&D regulation change, well, it didn't actually affect things that much because we've got so far into the career mode now that all the teams have got so many R&D points to basically adapt everything, so we won't miss out on that either. But now it's time. It's time to reveal our brand new challenger for Season 5. This is it, the Aarava Porsche Formula 1 team has arrived for this season. Myself and Leclerc are driving this bad boy, and I absolutely love the look of it. Red, black and white, it just works so well, the lines work so well. This is actually an adapted version of an already made fantastic mod of a Porsche Formula 1 team. It's uploaded in Race Department. I'll leave a link down below. Absolute credit to the man who made it. Absolutely insane mod. I've just simply adapted it to work for my own personal sponsors, a few little personal design tweaks for my own pleasure, and this is what we've got: an Aarava Archer Racing X Porsche F1 team livery ready for this new season, ready for myself and Leclerc to drive. I really love it, and I think, you know, even the way I've kind of blended in some sponsors we had previously, the Quadrant logos, my own logo, the Jordan brand, it just works really, really well with the already established design motifs, if you will, of Porsche, taking on from their Formula E livery. And small little details like 3 stars under my logo for the 3 World Championships we've got as a team, I think just add that little bit extra special zhuzh for the livery. And the same is for my helmet. We've got a brand new helmet design. Like last season, I think we'll try and change the helmet depending on some of the circuits we go to, but a new red, white and black helmet to go with the livery, and also the overalls you can see there as well. Again, from this very same package on Race Department, I've just simply adapted it to my own liking and taste, but full credit to the person who made it on Race Department, link below in the description. But yeah, I am very, very hyped about this. You know, Porsche, like I said, in real life, you know, rumored to be, you know, flirting around, you know, maybe we're coming to Formula 1 in the future. It's really cool to realize it into the game in this way and blend the Porsche brand with my branding and my kind of design style and what I like to do in terms of the F1 games, as you've seen in previous seasons. But that's my whole team revealed: my teammate, overalls, helmet, the car. It is now time to go through the AI teams, the driver transfers, and the brand new looking cars in some regards. And as I said before, the behind the scenes work to make this season has been worth it, because we've got some really, really great driver transfers. And this time around, I thought I'd present it to you guys in a bit of a different style, showing you the car and the drivers as we go on. Hopefully you guys go on to enjoy the different presentation styles. So this is our team, of course, myself and Leclerc. We're now going to move on to Red Bull Racing. They retain the Infinity Retro Throwback 2013 style livery on their car, and alongside Mick Schumacher, you may remember if you watched last season, Sergio Perez, Schumacher's teammate, retired from Formula 1, and so alongside Schumacher is Antonio Giovinazzi. Gio is in a Red Bull, so those of you who've been watching me for a while and used to watch F1 My Driver might really like this transfer, because Giovinazzi is in a Red Bull just like he was in that series all the way back. And clearly clearly Red Bull, obviously, they had a free choice of who they signed, so they think Gio has potential. 86 rated, so not too bad. He's got 83 focus alongside a 90 rated Schumacher. That's quite the pairing, to be fair. They looked very quick in 2 races last season, but ultimately just didn't have that overall consistency that you wanted. And Schumacher, well, he had about 5 or 6 DNF retirements, so they really need to solve the reliability over there, the number 1 Red Bull team. But I guess you could say this is now the new number 1 Red Bull team. AlphaTauri retain Pierre Gasly and Yuki Tsunoda. No surprise, 2 race winners last season, and Gasly obviously won the championship rivals right to the death at Yas Marina. But AlphaTauri retain their 2 strong pairings, and obviously they were very, very strong last season. Pretty much became the number 1 Red Bull team. Last season they had this new livery that had the Red Bull logo to kind of show the prominence and emergence of this second junior team as more of a secondary team rather than a junior team. This season, similar sort of livery, small evolution with a bit more blue blended in at the back, and also the front is a bit changed with the stripes and the way the Red Bull logo is placed on the nose cone, and it's still the 2 same pairings. A very strong 93 rated and 93 focused Pierre Gasly, and Tsunoda, let's not forget him. What a hero. He the Japanese driver won with this car, Japanese powered Honda, at the Japanese Grand Prix. Absolutely fantastic scenes last season. Let's see what they can do. Can Gasly go again and try and get revenge for last season? We're now going to rattle through 2 teams that haven't changed at all from Season 4 to Season 5, unfortunately, but the game really not, the game is not deciding to do anything with these drivers. Ilott and Stroll still at Aston Martin, despite Stroll having a 40 focus. I don't know how he's still even in the sport at this point, but he's alongside Ilott again. Aston Martin, the same livery with the lime green stripe from last year. They really weren't anywhere last season, but they have been improving, so maybe they could start to fight for some small points positions in this calendar season. Haas, the same thing, not really much change there. Christian Lundgaard alongside Matsushita, and they've still got that Castrol Edge livery, of course, for Castrol Edge. Maybe some very cheap sponsorship, of course, because Haas can't exactly ask too much of them in terms of a price point. Haas, massive back markers last season. They're still the back markers into this season. Even with the regulation change, they just got nerfed even further down the order. They're actually ironically catching up a little bit at the end of last season, but no, they're back down to being firm back markers, and we probably won't see too much of them unless we're lapping them. And those 2 teams may be joined by Alpine. How the mighty have fallen. They seemed so quick at one point in seasons 2 and 3, but they've really fallen off because they've even lost George Russell. Yep, George Russell is no longer at Alpine, and Alpine have really been nerfed by the R&D regulation changes. Into this season, they've got Mazepin and Ocon, so a big shift, a downward trajectory. They're having to scramble a little bit here, and they're going to have to try and find their feet to try and bounce back up. But they've lost one of their star drivers, Russell, one of the big transfers this season, which I'm sure is going to get a lot of you excited where he goes to. But Alpine, yeah, it was a bit of a shame. I honestly thought they would have improved, but the game had other ideas. The R&D regulation change did not help them, and they just got nerfed 2 times over into Season 4 and this season. But it's kind of nice in a way to see that, at any point a team could be push down the order in the pecking order. McLaren could have been one of those teams last season, but they recovered very well at the end of Season 4. They still retain that iconic Golf livery that so many of you enjoy, and alongside Lando Norris is George Russell. They've booted Daniel Ricciardo. Don't let the number 3 fool you. George Russell, 63, is alongside number 4, Lando Norris. The all-British lineup and the all kind of future star British lineup. So exciting for this pairing, Russell and Norris. I think those 2 in the game, they're such quick drivers, especially in later seasons of career mode. They're both, very highly focused. Russell's 94 focus, so he could be dangerous this season if the McLaren is there, of course, we saw last season they started off slow and then they picked it up at the end of the year towards the kind of last third. So whether that's going to be the same pattern, who knows? But this is such a supreme lineup. You know, surely they're going to at least be fighting for some victories this season with those two alongside each other. We now come to the Scarlet Red, the Scuderia Ferrari, and this season they bring back Santander onto their car, very much like in real life. Again, this is a fantastic mod made by someone else. I'll link it below in race department. And obviously there was a gaping hole where Leclerc left them, and in place of Leclerc, Ferrari have signed Daniel Ricciardo, who is out of favour for McLaren. So, you know, there were rumours years ago that Ricciardo could have gone to Italy, could have gone to Maranello. He's, of course, got Italian descent in his family as well, in his heritage, so it kind of makes some sort of sense. And so that fantasy is finally going to be lived out here in the game in Season 5. Ricciardo does go to Ferrari, number 3 on the red car, alongside Carlos Sainz. Both of them are quite focused, actually. So, you know, I've said it time and time again, I'm waiting for the season where Ferrari might actually be good, and there have been flashpoints of them looking fast. Could this be finally this season where they're quick? I don't know. Ricciardo, last season, at points, he was very, very quick. A lot quicker than Lando even, sometimes as well. And we know how good he was, obviously, as a world champion from Season 3. So, let's see what they can do. And, of course, Sainz has always been very, very consistent. Bit unlucky at times last season, I think. And Ferrari, they still got that reliability knocking about that needs to be sorted. But, you know, the Santander, it's back on the car. The red and white vibes are back. Could it be good vibes again from 2010 to 2017? We'll find out, obviously, this season. Now we come to the silver arrows, and they are silver again this season, but there's a massive difference. You can see a splash of pink because we've got a fantasy livery for Mercedes this season. Another really cracking mod. Link in the description. What if BWT went on inside Mercedes? Of course, Mercedes in this career mode and alternate universe, they've not exactly been a top team, so maybe they need a bit more sponsorship and a bit more money coming in from a sponsor like BWT to maybe try and springboard them to compete. They retain that fantastically, you know, looking lineup of Hamilton, Verstappen. Obviously, we know, though, this is a very different Lewis Hamilton to the one we know in real life. He's 37 focus. He is, well, I don't know how he's still even in the game. I don't know how he's not retired again, like in F1 2020, but he's still there. Verstappen, though, 93 focus. He's going to be trying to pull this Mercedes a new, darker silver arrow to heights where, well, Hamilton just can't get anymore. Talking about new heights, though, it could be a very different season for Alfa Romeo, who have a strikingly different car and different lineup here as well because of Giovinazzi being nicked away by Red Bull Racing. They have got Jack Aitken, the Brit, alongside Latifi, so it's a bit of a, you know, I would say average lineup, but a very different looking Alfa Romeo. Link in description to the mod here. I've just changed it a little bit to have the Alfa Romeo logos, but going into this season, we may see a rejuvenated Alfa Romeo. Sauber have taken more control back from the team. You can see the Swiss influence in terms of some of the sponsors they've got on the car, and with that kind of restructure where it's become a bit more Sauber and less Alfa Romeo, maybe they could actually do something this season. In terms of the R&D chart, they are a lot closer to everyone now. They're right there with all of us with nearly maxed out cars. So definitely a team to watch for this season. But now we get on to the grand reveal, because that second manufacturer, Jaguar, is indeed coming to Formula 1, and they're partnering up with Williams F1 team. So Williams, obviously a fantastic season last year. Bottas got the most wins of any driver, actually, I think it was. And so this season, Williams are going big with a joint venture with Jaguar, an iconic brand in the world of cars and also used to be in Formula 1. They returned to Formula 1 in this joint partnership venture. You can see some more Chinese influence with the sponsoring, so cash injection from Guan Yu Zhou's side, another new race winner last season. So it's, you know, 2 race winners in this team. And, you know, if there were more races last season, Williams could have mounted a championship title charge in both regards for the drivers and the constructors. So Williams, Jaguar Racing, and I know so many of you guys really enjoyed seeing Bottas and Guan Yu Zhou really excel in that Williams, but it's time for them to become a top team in terms of the way way they look, and I think we have a lovely, striking Jaguar Williams livery here. Again, this has been adapted from an already made mod on Race Department, but I've heavily adapted it to turn it into a more Williams/Jaguar livery. But fantastic work from the original mod maker, link again in the description. I've said it before and I'll say it again and I'll keep saying it, the PC modding community, especially over in Race Department, keeps the F1 game alive, especially here on YouTube, and I think Codemasters need to freaking wake up and realize that and make modding a little bit more accessible. I don't know how some of these guys do some of the modding and livery designs they do with the constraints they have on some of these cars, because it's not as easy as you think in terms of making liveries like this, but they do it, and it's meant that this season is so exciting visually and performance-wise. It's going to be just as close as it was last season, I think. So that is it then. That is the full rundown of this pre-season video, Season 5. All you need to know going into that first episode at the Bahrain Grand Prix. Guys, if you did enjoy the look at this season and are excited for it, smash the like button, share it with your mates. Let me know in the comments below if you're excited. If you're new around here, then do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content, and I'll see you guys next time. It is time for aarava Porsche Formula 1 team to debut in F1, and I'm alongside Leclerc. Let's go. Till then, guys, goodbye.